Plaintiff Autumn Jones says she and the defendant were good friends, so much so that the defendant tried to dress and act just like Autumn. Autumn claims when the defendant started working as a prostitute, she got her a cell phone to use because she was worried about her. But she stopped paying the bill, so Autumn's suing. Defendant Rochelle Fowler admits that she and Autumn were really close, but she denies that she wanted to be just like Autumn. Rochelle insists she was never a prostitute, and she claims Autumn shut her phone off before her payment was even due.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I met Rochelle. Well, me and Rochelle have been friends for 5 years. I met her when I was 15 going on 16, and she was 13 years old. I would notice how Rochelle would try to dress like me, act like me. She even had this crazy idea of me getting her initials tattooed on my wrist.
Your Honor, that's not true.
What part isn't true?
Saying that I want to dress like her, act like her, and
All right,
it's not true.
Well, I even found out that she was sleeping with a very close family member of mine.
That's not true, Your Honor.
What was wrong with that?
Well,
Oh, really? She can go with your family member. They're not related, right?
well, I looked up to, it was a very older family member of mine that I looked up to.
Was she a minor at that time? Or
Yes, she was a minor.
Yeah.
As you
Not
mentioned,
true, Your Honor.
Let me allow her to give some background before we get to the lawsuit on the phone bill.
We was real close. We got, same tattoos together and everything. So with her, about me sleeping with a close family member of hers is definitely not true.
Okay. Where do you think she got that notion?
You're under oath. Stop.
I really don't know.
Okay. She's never asked you about it.
No.
Why didn't you tell her earlier or ask about it earlier?
I did ask her.
And what was her
She
response?
told me it wasn't true, but I found out from a very reliable source. Actually, it's her sister's friend who told me.
Her sister's friend's cousin. And you think that that's reliable, a third party.
Well, it's her
A
sister's
fourth
boyfriend.
party. Pardon?
It's her sister's boyfriend.
All right. Go ahead.
That's not true, Your Honor. I would like to say that I was 17. I was only 17 when I asked her if I can get on her plan.
All right. Let me allow her to tell me about the cell phone. Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, back in 2008, Rochelle would travel to Philly to prostitute.
That is not true.
Hold on, let me finish. You're being rude.
Where do you
would
get that
travel to Philly.
information, ma'am?
Well, Rochelle would call me from different numbers, telling me she's one place when she's really another, and she would call me from all these different exotic numbers, and she telling me that she's catching rides from people, and they're not letting her out at the red light, and she's hopping out of the cars. So I'm assuming, and then people would come back and tell me that, oh, Rochelle be going to Philly to get money, and I know that she was going to Philly because me and her were like going to clubs, and she would meet guys and date the guys and.
Okay. And then what?
I was concerned for her safety, and she had no way to contact any of her family members, including me, because me and Rochelle was like, I love Rochelle.
Why didn't she have a way?
Because she didn't have a phone.
Okay, so she wasn't doing too much prostituting, or wasn't profitable.
Obviously, it wasn't.
Couldn't afford a phone.
She couldn't.
All right. Where was she staying? You don't know?
Well, she was residing with her sister.
Okay, and her sister didn't have a phone either?
No, her sister wouldn't put her on her plan.
I'm not asking that. I'm saying,
okay.
Can I borrow your phone, sis? Because no one knows where I'm at. I want to tell at least my close friends where I'm at, and perhaps my parents. Go right ahead. So you got her a phone, and then what?
I added her to my plan, and I asked Rochelle, listen, if I put you on my account, you had to pay me every 6th day of each month, and you would have to pay me half of the bill and for any additional charges pertaining to that half of the bill. She said, fine, it was no problem. I added her to my account. Her bill wasn't due until a entire month. Like, her bill wasn't due. A month later, she paid me for the bill. She paid me for her half of the bill, that is, and she paid me for a couple ringers and a couple call tones. Okay, a week later go by, Rochelle calls my phone and was like, Autumn, I got something to tell you. I'm like, what's up, girl? She's like, I just walked out on my job. So I'm like, why did you just walk out on your job? She's like, oh, because the manager said if I don't want to be here, I can go, and I ain't like her mouth, so I walked out. So I'm like, okay, but Rochelle, you agreed that you were going to pay me every 6th day of each month. Like we're in a contract. We're in a, like you're going to pay me. She's
Correct.
like,
You have an agreement.
She's like, oh, don't worry about it, girl. I'm going to pay for it with my welfare check. And she was like, don't even worry about it. I'm like, are you sure? Because me and Rasha, we had the unlimited everything plan. So I'm like, do you need me to take off any
unlimited everything, and she was on welfare. I don't have the top of the line. Go ahead. You tell me, ma'am, was this the agreement that you would pay?
Yes.
In half?
Yes.
And what happened?
February 25th, I received a phone call from Autumn Jones, and she said that I'm going to give her the money for the bill. And I said, yeah, but the bill wasn't due until March 12th. So she wanted the money immediately. She wanted it right there. So next thing you know, my phone is shut off. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to, because I was getting ready to call her to tell her to, just come the next day and pick up the money. Because I was out, shopping for my birthday weekend.
And she asked for it on February 25th.
Yes.
All right. And it was cut off when?
The same day.
All right.
She turned it back on and sent me a text message talking about some, you poppy-eyed black blank. I wish you would do something to my car. That'll be the end of your life. And
you threatened her?
Huh?
Did you threaten to do something to her?
No, I didn't threaten her to do anything.
How would that come up? What
I don't know.
Did you say, ooh, this is weird? Where are you coming from with
how
this?
It all came about was her cousin told her that I guess, I was talking about her, which wasn't true because, she was lying because she thought that I slept with her boyfriend, but it wasn't true. Okay. So that's why, she went to her and said that I was talking about her.
This is the second close person to her that she alleges you slept with. All right, ma'am, did you try and collect before time and cut it off before the money was due?
Yes, after Rochelle got fired from her job, I see 2 days later, she's ordering ringers and a couple call tones.
But you didn't give her a chance to pay.
We were accumulating high charges. Like the
but
bill
you still had to allow her to pay at the deadline.
Sprint was like, they were telling me they're going to turn their phone off.
Why?
The bill was, we ran the bill, the bill was like $500.
But hadn't she paid her share that month before?
She paid her bill on February 04.
All right, so she didn't owe you again until March. So why was the company going to cut it off if it had been paid the month before? They don't cut phones off until they're delinquent.
Okay.
Okay, you didn't know that?
Yes. But
so why did you cut her phone off before her bill was due?
Rochelle kept postponing the date that she was going to give me the money because February 10th.
When did she tell you she would?
Rochelle kept telling me, Autumn, I'm going to give you some money. She kept postponing the date all the way up until her birthday.
When did she say she would pay you?
She told me she would put some money down on February 15th because me and Rochelle.
No, she didn't owe you.
Yes, but Your Honor,
she had paid you for January. Didn't you say that? Didn't you say that?
She paid me for February's bill. The bill wasn't due until a month later, until February.
So she paid you ahead of time.
She paid, yes, but we were going over the minutes.
Regardless of the minutes, she paid you what was owed.
Okay.
So why are you suing her?
I'm suing her because she ran my bill up to
and she paid it. Case dismissed, ma'am. Have a good day. You keep saying she paid you, and she paid you on time, and she did not owe you until March. So you cut off her phone. You cut off her phone ahead of time. You violated the agreement. You cut it off before the bill was due. Have a good day.